Why offsites work, and how to get the most out of them. Abstract. This practitioner-oriented brief explores why offsite meetings and retreats are an effective tool for driving organizational progress and shares best practices for maximizing their impact. Through an examination of relevant academic literature. The brief establishes that offsites create an environment sheltered from everyday workplace distractions that allows for deeper focus and stimulates novel perspectives. Research also shows offsites foster increased psychological safety and collaboration through extended engagement away from normal hierarchies. Drawing from over 15 years of management consulting experience, practical recommendations are then provided regarding objective setting, venue selection, agenda crafting, facilitation, and follow-up. Real-world case examples from a global technology firm and aerospace supplier demonstrate successful application. The conclusion maintains that well-planned offsites, as informed by the research and best practices covered, have unmatched potential to accelerate strategic planning, problem-solving, team alignment, and organizational change versus standard meetings. As a management consultant with over 15 years of experience helping organizations tackle their biggest challenges, I have seen firsthand the power that offsite meetings and retreats can have. Throughout my career, some of the most transformational work my clients and I have done happens outside the walls of the normal office environment, away from the everyday distractions and interruptions. When done right, offsites can be invaluable for strategizing, problem-solving, team-building, and driving organizational change. Today we will be examining what research tells us about why offsites are so effective, as well as provide practical guidance based on lessons learned from working with a wide range of organizations on how you can maximize the impact of your own offsite experiences. What makes offsites effective? A robust body of research points to several key factors that help explain why offsites can be so powerful when it comes to driving strategic planning, collaboration, and organizational progress. Reduced distractions. One of the main reasons offsites allow for such focused work is that they remove teams from the regular distractions and interruptions that are an inevitable part of daily office life. Eisenhardt et al. 1997. Ancona et al. 2001. Studies show that the average knowledge worker is disrupted roughly every 3 minutes by notifications, co-workers stopping by their desk, unscheduled meetings, and more. Gonzalez and Mark. 2004. An off-site environment sheltered from these distractions gives teams dedicated time for deep thinking and problem-solving without interruption. Novel environment. Being in a new physical setting away from the everyday workplace stimulates creative thinking and reduces cognitive biases. Paulus and Young. 2000. Duggan and Shark. 2007. The novel environment encourages fresh perspectives and helps teams break patterned ways of thinking that can hold them back. Studies have found that exposure to nature and greenery in particular boosts cognitive performance. Bratman et al. 2019. Psychological safety. Taking teams out of their normal hierarchies and power dynamics fosters a more collaborative culture with less fear of speaking up. Carmely et al. 2011. Edmondson, 1999. This increased psychological safety allows teams to engage in more open debate of tough issues without worrying as much about political consequences or repercussions back at the office. Extended time together. Offsites provide dedicated blocks of time for teams to focus deeply without interruptions or being pulled in multiple directions by daily responsibilities. Ancona et al. 2009. This helps foster stronger social bonds and makes challenging negotiations more feasible. Gibson and Cohen. 2003. Teams essentially immerse themselves in strategic problems or projects until breakthroughs occur. Applying the research, offsite best practices with a solid foundation of why offsites are so impactful. The next step is sharing practical guidance based on lessons learned from years of experience. Set clear objectives. begin planning by pinpointing the 2 to 3 most important goals and having senior leadership sign off. Well-defined objectives kept front and center will maximize focus. Choose the right venue. Look for a venue that supports the objectives. Free from distractions yet inspiring creativity. Consider nature-centric options shown to boost cognitive performance. Craft an engaging agenda. Mix short presentations with collaborative activities. Foster dialogue, not death by PowerPoint. Balance deep work with social networking breaks every 90 minutes to recharge. Leverage facilitation. Use a skilled, objective facilitator to guide discussions and ensure participation from all. They prevent dominating voices and keep teams on track. Foster trust and team building. Incorporate icebreakers to build familiarity among new peers. Ease tensions and get everyone from hierarchical silos involved. Document decisions and action plans. Ensure clarity on follow-ups. Assign responsibilities and share notes to maintain momentum when teams return to day-to-day operations. Solicit feedback to improve. Circulate a survey and incorporate learnings when planning future offsites. Highlight what worked best and aspects to enhance next time. With diligent planning and an eye on established best practices, offsites can help any organization tackle complex challenges. Enhance collaboration, drive strategy, and foster positive organizational change. Now let's look at examples of how some leading companies have successfully applied these concepts. Case examples: leveraging offsites for success to bring the research and best practices to life. Here are 2 examples showing their real-world impact. Starting with a Fortune 500 technology company, focusing a global tech giant amid intense industry disruption. This leading IT firm looked to better align its 150,000 employees worldwide around key strategic priorities. After surveying the top 1,000 executives, it was decided a large-scale offsite would maximize engagement and buy-in. Over 3 intensive days at an outdoor conference center, the C-suite and business unit heads hashed out refined strategic goals and a new organizational structure to support them, with an external facilitator guiding discussions. Dozens of action plans and accountable working groups emerged from interactive sessions facilitated by the novel lakefront setting. Meanwhile, social events built stronger connections across silos. Back at work, participants rallied teams with renewed clarity and motivation around the new strategic direction. Follow-up surveys showed over 90% felt the offsite significantly accelerated progress versus standard conference calls. The revitalized strategy propelled years of industry-leading growth. Aligning an aerospace supplier faced with a demanding new contract. This mid-sized aerospace components manufacturer looked to better coordinate its 5 production facilities across the country. An intensive 2-day offsite held in the mountains brought all plant managers and department heads together for the first time. Guided walks in the crisp mountain air opened each work session, inspiring fresh perspective. Through facilitated breakouts and role-playing exercises held in scenic lodges. Conflicts over responsibilities and priorities among the far-flung facilities surfaced and were resolved. By the end, a new production coordination process emerged along with commitments around standardized practices, information sharing, and meeting tight deadlines together as one cohesive team instead of independent silos. Back on the job, interplant collaboration soared as measured by integrated planning systems. On-time deliveries to the prime contractor exceeded all targets, securing an important new long-term contract. Conclusion: the research and case examples provide strong evidence that offsites, when properly planned and facilitated, are unmatched for strategizing, solving complex problems, fostering collaboration, and driving transformation across organizations. By creating an enclosed environment free of daily distractions, stimulating fresh thinking in novel settings, and fostering buy-in over extended engaged time together, Offsites have the power to significantly accelerate progress versus standard meetings. With clear objectives, a facilitative leader, and grounding practices like those outlined, any organization can successfully harness this impact. The outcomes of focused strategic plans, aligned cross-functional teams, and revitalized cultures well outweigh the investments of time and money required to make offsites a regular part of the change management toolkit.